Kick it! Wake up in the school, man, you don't want to go. You ask your mama please, but she still says no. Living at home, man, it's such a gas. You gotta fight for your right to podcast. So motherfuckers, let's jive. Shit. I thought I pulled that off pretty good. But I feel like I really wanted to work on that. I didn't talk enough about Jive Talkin. That's what we're here to do, is the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo podcast every single week, talking about those hot, interesting, heavy metal, hard rock, punk rock, whatever rock news of the week. We get into that, and then we get into your comments at the very end. I did want to say one thing very quickly, because I had a question that I want to ask. You put it in the comments below and tell me what to do about this situation. So there, right by my house, there's a convenience store, and it's an Indian family. The whole Indian family runs this store. The brothers, the sisters, the dad, the uncle, they all run this store. Well, the two brothers that work there, I went in there one day and they says, "Oh, there you go, sir. There you go, sir." And I says, "Please, don't call me sir. That's my father." They don't get that joke. They don't understand it. So he's like, "Okay." And he says, "What should I call you?" And I was just goofing and I said, "King." And so now every time I go in there, it doesn't matter who's in the store. When I walk in, they go, "King." And I like it. But now I'm wondering if I should come clean and go, "Look, you don't have to call me King. My name is Shane." I vaguely remember saying something like that. King or Shane. I don't think they heard me say or Shane. But get in the comments and tell me what I should do about that. Or should I just roll with it and walk in and they scream King every time I walk in and I just do what I got to do? I just feel like they're nice enough people that, you get to know them. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe I should really tell them my real name. I've never showed them any identification of any sorts, but it's time. Let's do it. Let's get into these stories. We got some hot takes. We got some hot action. We got some hot tuna on the toast. John 5. There he is with his sunglasses on. They all got the sunglasses on. He's now a member of Motley Crue. He used to be in Rob Zombie, but he so rudely broke up and quit that band. Rob Zombie's still torn up about it, still hurting about it, but he's joined Motley Crue, and he says they got 3 new songs. And this plays into our intro a little bit. Let's get into it. New Motley Crue songs are so good, everybody is just killing it. That's John 5. That's directly from him. Motley Crue's guitarist John 5 spoke to Meltdown of Detroit WRIF radio station about 3 new songs. That's 3. Count them on your fingers. 1, 2, 3 new songs. He has with his bandmates, because we call them bandmates now. I'm not just an employee. I'm a bandmate. Earlier this year, with legendary producer Bob Rock, he's worked with everyone, including Dogs of War, and a cover of Beastie Boys' "You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party." Is Dogs of War that Def Leppard song? Get in the comments and tell me. He said, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, I don't know when it's going to come out, quite frankly. But everything is a plan. Everything is mapped out and structured, and everything is, we're going to do it here and there and blah, 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 blah. So the songs are recorded, mixed, and mastered, and they are so good. They are so good. I can't wait for them to come out. They are so good. I'm really excited about them. He continued, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if we'll just release singles or an album. It's up to those guys. So I don't know. We just record and see what happens. But these songs that we're recording are so freaking good. They are so good. They're heavy, and the melodies, and everybody's just killing it in these songs. Asked how much input he had. This is a good question. Blabbermouth kicking ass doing it. Asked how much input he had during the songwriting. I'm going to tell you right now, he had all of it. Because he was writing delicious riffs for Rob Zombie, and now he's over there writing delicious riffs. Nikki Sixx is a smart businessman. And he knows we got to get somebody that's a firecracker on the guitar. John 5 says, we all sat in a room and did it together. And not what you're thinking, not where we lay in a bed naked with each other. No, we did music together. Because me and Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue bassist, have written for years and years and years together. So it was nothing new. And me and Tommy Lee, Motley Crue drummer, worked in the studio together many times as well. So it was nothing new being in the studio. But it was new with Bob Rock. Bob Rock's the one that's done the Metallica records. He did that Black album. He's done a ton of stuff. What was so wild was we got in a room. It was like a total old school, man. He explained, you get in the live room, and there's my amp, and there's Nikki freaking Sixx, and there's Tommy on the drums. There's a mic. There's Vince over there eating a sandwich. Because I'm so used to just playing in the control room, and it's like, oh, no. We're all going to get in this room, and we're all going to play until we get to the live stage where we fake it. And that's how we recorded. He didn't say that about the faking it on stage, guys. I added that. And that's how we recorded. It was incredible. I've never recorded that way. And it was maybe one of the best experiences I had recording. It was so freaking fun. It was a blast. I had to make notes and all this stuff, and we just played through it. It was incredible. Here's a little thing that do you remember when we talked about Rob Zombie, and he says, "Oh, I don't like to get in the room. I just like to get in the studio board with the mixing man and just write the tunes that way." Here's old John 5 talking about how he's never done it where he's been in the live room jamming on the tunes. Oh, no. See, it says, because I'm so used to just playing in the control room with Robert Zombie. That's what he's talking about. This past spring, John 5 told Sirius XM's Trunk Nation with any junk in the trunk. It's only a small fraction of what I do on the radio. About recording with rock. Bob would come in and say, okay, let's try this here, and that here, and this here. It was one of the most incredible experiences ever. I'm thinking, we've got so much great technology today, but we got in that room and it was like being in a freaking garage working on a song when you were in high school. It was incredible. And we documented a lot of it too. We're going to put out The Dirt 2. Regarding the musical direction of the tracks he and the rest of Motley Crue have recorded so far, John 5 said, the songs are fucking heavy. I sound like a little excited kid right now, but they're heavy and they're mean. I can't wait for them to come out. I am just so excited. I cannot hide it. I'm about to lose control, and you know what? I think I like it. When host Eddie Trunk asked John 5 whether the new Motley Crue music can be compared to the band's breakthrough second album, 1983's Shout at the Devil, the guitarist said that some of the new riffs are heavier than anything. Anything? Even heavier than Shout at the Devil? I'm telling you, anything. All I can tell you is that it is heavy and it's aggressive. And I think people are going to dig it because, talking as a fan, now I am talking as a fan now, it's fucking badass. Oh my gosh. Motley Crue debuted its cover of You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, they did, during a secret June 30th club performance. Ooh. For 450 lucky fans at the Underworld in London, England. Is there video of that? I think, is this weird? I want to keep my ears virginal so I can hear the audio track. I don't know that I want to get into, you better bet your sweet and juicies we're going to end up doing a video autopsy on that, but you got to let them get out there and play it for a while so they can get it, get that tape track working real good. Oh, my lime water. I'm a lime wire. I'm a lime water. John 5 joined Motley Crue last fall as the replacement for the band's co-founding guitarist Mick Mars. Mick announced his retirement and touring with Motley Crue last October, and we know all the stories about that because they're being jerks over there to him, to old Mick Mars, old crypt keeper. Let's get into this one. I thought this was interesting. Adrian Vandenberg had nothing to do with Vivian Campbell getting fired from Whitesnake. I didn't know that Vivian Campbell ever... I don't even remember him being in Whitesnake, for one. I was probably so far into Dio and Grim Reaper and all of that shit by the time that album came out. In fact, I know it was. But Vivian Campbell getting fired from Whitesnake, Adrian wasn't responsible for that. I guess there's a myth around this. I don't know anything about it. Pardon my burps, though, by the way. In an interview with Real Music with Gary Stuckey, former Whitesnake guitarist Adrian Vandenberg reflected on the firing of guitarist Vivian Campbell, who was in Whitesnake in 1987 and 88. Now, was he in those videos? I don't seem to... I remember seeing freaking guitar players all over in those goddamn videos, but now I can't remember who was in it. Was Vivian Campbell in there? Why do I want to say it was Steve Vai and Adrian Vandenberg that was in the videos? Because I remember there being 3 long blonde-haired dudes in that band. And I was like, someone's got to do something. You got to cut your hair weird or something, because like ZZ Top, one had a pointy beard and one had a flat at the end. Asked if it was true that Campbell was dismissed from the band because Adrian didn't want to have 2 guitarists in Whitesnake, Adrian responded as transcribed. Well, no. I don't know where that myth came from, because I always knew that Whitesnake was a 2-guitar band. I think that comes from Vivian. Vivian was not a very happy camper in Whitesnake. So that had a lot to do with the fact that David Coverdale, Whitesnake lead singer, stopped working with Vivian. But the main reason was that Vivian's wife, oh boy, Vivian's wife was a pain in the ass to everybody. To the sound guys, to the light guys, to the management, to everything. It was great. It was getting really complicated, and Vivian didn't like it. Apparently, David couldn't find the song that Vivian suggested. David didn't think they were suitable for Whitesnake, so in the end, it didn't work out. I always, from various fans at times, that Vivian thought I had something to do with David not wanting to keep him with Vivian. I had nothing to do with it. I heard it from the tour manager. That's when it came into my ears. Is when I heard it from the tour manager. They sent Vivian home. I didn't know. I thought I got along fine with Vivian. I didn't know. Asked if he had a chance to talk to Vivian since straighten everything out, Adrian said, well, unfortunately not. I hope at some point I can, because it's a long time ago. Of course, but still, it's kind of bothered me that he thought that I had anything to do with it, because he ventilated that in a couple of interviews, apparently. But time heals all wounds. That's what they say. When I read on internet and in books and beautiful literature from the past, it says, time will heal all the wounds. He got a great gig with Def Leppard, so I don't think he's complaining, driving around his Ferraris. He does like his Ferraris, too. He talks about his Ferraris with that Let There Be Rock talk. That comedian guy. I always forget his name. Adrian previously talked about Vivian's departure from Whitesnake in a 2022 interview with Full in Bloom. At the time, he said, I've read a couple of interviews with Vivian years ago where he was kind of saying, well, Adrian didn't want me in the band, but I wasn't. Because as far as I know, we had a great working relationship. And I got with him fine on the road. We do it from a year and a half, and I'd hang out with Vivian regularly. But David didn't want to keep working with Vivian because there was some problems with Vivian's wife at the time. And now he's divorced. David wanted to write the songs with me and not with Vivian, so I can understand that Vivian wasn't too happy about that. But in the end, it's David's band, and he calls the shots. I've always had my own band, and everybody knows it's Dave's band. And I was just happy to be Dave's right-hand man. And Vivian could be the left hand because depending on if you're right-handed, then I would be the stronger hand for Whitesnake. Asked if there are any tensions during the tour that ever surfaced, Adrian said, not when we were on the road. I can't remember any tensions. I remember that once we started rehearsing initially on Slip of the Tongue, the first couple of rehearsals, and Vivian was there, and he wasn't just really moody because David wanted to work with me as far as songs. Vivian was not really happy. And the important reason that David decided he didn't want to work in that atmosphere, but on the road, for me, everything was great. We were in the bus, we got naked, into the bed. It was lovely good time, all together. We always had a lot of laughs, and I only have great memories of that tour. And everybody got on greater together. It was quite unusual. If you lived together for a year and a half, that's very unusual. That you would have such a great time and a great vibe in the band. And I was under the impression always that it was the case for Vivian. But apparently not. But I can't imagine it must have been frustrating for him when starting to rehearse on the Slip of the Tongue songs. Because tell us again, Adrian, tell us again that he wanted to work with you. I can understand starting rehearsals on Slip of the Tongue songs that he didn't have any songs in there. Obviously, he wasn't used to that because in Dio, he was the guy. Well, technically, Dio wrote songs and melodies too. So I don't know. I'm like hardcore optimist, and I always try to avoid negative vibes. And sometimes I don't even notice them if they're there. Apparently, they were because David did not want to work with him. He wanted to work with me. I am his right-hand man. All right, so there you have that. I love this story right here. This is Saliva. This guy's face says it all. Look at those eyes going. Everything I'm saying here is untrue. Here's the deal. You've got Saliva. Have you heard of the band Saliva? Would you put them in the new metal category? They came out in the 2000s. You got Saliva out there touring, and then you've got the original singer that does click, click, boom. He was very metrosexual with this is him right here. He's still very metrosexual. But he's out doing his version of the band, Josie Scott's Saliva. And this guy, Bobby Amaru, says it's awesome. But look at that face. That's a face. Honey, what do you think of that? It's awesome. It's great. I love it. I love that there's two Salivas out touring and trying to make money. In a new interview with Meltdown of Detroit's really working it. WRIF radio station, Saliva bassist Brad Stewart and vocalist Bobby Amaru spoke about the fact that original Saliva singer Josie Scott, a.k.a. Joseph, don't tell us his real name, Joseph Sappington. I mean, if you're going to have a last name, though, right? Here he is, Josie Sappington. Recently embarked on a tour under the Josie Scott Saliva banner, which sees him performing a lot of the band's classic songs without any of the original members of Saliva members. Brad said, is transcribed by Blabbermouth, it's an interesting thing because we've been doing this version of the band with Bobby on vocals since Josie originally left 11 or 12 years ago. So we've kind of kept the fires burning and put out new records and new music and stuff. So it's interesting situation that we're in now, to be quite honest. I'm being quite frank and honest with you right here. So we're just trying to figure out how to make it work for both parts of it. Bobby, is your days going to be numbered? Because they just say, Josie, let's just bury the hatchet and get the whole band back together. They know what it's like these days to go. Do you realize if we get even if we hate each other, if we get the original members back together and go out, we're going to be in arenas. Maybe not Saliva, but they'd be in pretty big clubs, right? So we've kind of kept fires burning and put out new records and blah, blah, blah. And both versions, okay, hold on, guys. Pardon me. So we've kind of kept the fires burning and put out new records and new music and stuff. So it's an interesting situation that we're in now, to be quite frank with you. Bobby commented, I think it's good that Josie's trying to connect with fans and tour and play music. I think it's an awesome thing. Well, shut up, Bobby. Nobody asked you. I think it's an awesome thing. He should have been doing it long ago. Shut up, Bobby. God damn it. Referencing Saliva's founding guitarist Wayne Swinney, who died in March while on tour with the group. Rest in peace, sir. Amaru, I think that what we're doing here with the current Saliva touring lineup is we're just trying to do what Wayne would have wanted, and we're honoring Wayne. This latest Saliva record, Revelation, which came out in early September, I know how important it was to him, and I think the world should hear it. We're going out every night, we're playing songs from it, and this tour has been great. The fans have been awesome, man. And Flotsam and Jetsam can't seem to pull off a tour because they're not selling tickets. I mean, this past May, Josie weighed in on the announcement that Saliva's surviving members would carry on following the death of the group's last remaining original member. The aforementioned Swinney, Josie, told Rock 100.5, the KATT. See, I always thought Cat would be country station, the Cat. Or a sports station for a place that has some kind of a feline, a cat of some sort for a mascot. Cameron Buchholz said, I'm very close with Bobby, and I know in my heart and deep down in my soul that Bobby will do the honorable thing. He never hasn't done the honorable thing, and I just trust in his steering that ship at this point. And I know he's going to do the right thing, and I know it's all going to work out. He better goddamn do the right thing. It's all going to be great. Josie also reflected on his relationship with Wayne. In the moments leading up to his death, he said, we were just absolute brothers. I think there was things that certain news outlets said about our relationship that we'd said things about each other, or that there was some kind of tension between each of us. That was all blown out of proportion. We were always brothers. Well, he's not alive to refute. Saliva launched its career in 2001 with the release of Every 6 Seconds, a double platinum selling album with hits that included clap, clap, boom. What's he saying about going buck wild in that song? You know what's on side, we're going buck wild, click, click, boom. And then the other song, Your Disease. I don't know if I know that. The band has toured the U.S. with Seven Dust, Aerosmith, and Kiss. Saliva reunited with Scott for a one-off appearance at last year's Blue Ridge Rock Festival. This is kind of off topic, but it just kind of popped in my head. I heard a kick-ass song from Bullet Boys that I'd never heard before, and I want to say it was called Groove THC. It's like, that dude's got a soulful voice. I knew it was Bullet Boys the minute it started going, but I was like, I've never heard this before. It's off one of those later albums. The only record I really know from them is the first one, but Let's get into bleeding bloody Iron Maiden singer Bruce freaking and Dickinson. Look at him standing there like a tough boy. Standing in some shady alley somewhere, some sci-fi wormhole. He's got a new solo album. I'm surprised at how much of the... I wasn't familiar with his other stuff, but we've done it. People have requested, solo Bruce Dickinson stuff on this channel. And he put out some pretty good shit. I mean, the Tattooed Millionaire, I don't care for all that much, that tune. But every time I come across something, I go, now I know that's Bruce singing, but it doesn't sound Iron Maiden-y. And I'm like, wow, he's doing pretty good. Let's read up on it. Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson announces new solo album, The Mandrake Project. Wasn't that in the Harry Potter? Isn't a mandrake some kind of tiny little tree elf or something? Renowned around the world as one of the greatest and most distinctive heavy metal vocalists of all time, Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson will release a brand new solo album in early 2024 on BMG. Can we get it for a penny? Titled The Mandrake Project. When you put project at the end, it sounds like, ooh, that's going to be deep. It's going to be important. It sees him reunite with longtime musical collaborator and producer Roy Z. Well, then he's probably going to have some good hits on it. Because what I've heard I like. The Mandrake Project will be Dickinson's 7th solo album and his first since Tyranny of Souls in 2005. Dickinson explained, "This album has been a very personal journey for me, and I'm extremely proud of it. Roy Z and I have been planning, writing, and recording it for years. And I'm very excited for people to finally hear it. I'm even more excited at the prospects of getting out there on the road with this amazing band that we have put together to be able to bring it to life. We're planning to play as many shows as we can, in as many places as possible, for as many people as we can. As for what the Mandrake Project actually is, ... all will be revealed soon." First live shows to be announced are in Mexico and Brazil in April and May of 2024, with further touring plans. Don't freak out. Don't shit in your pants, okay? Says right here, with further touring plans to be revealed in due time, due course. Okay? Let me have a sippy. The Mandrake Project tour dates: April 18th, 20th, 24th, 25th, 27th, 28th, 30th, May 2nd, May 4th. They're all in Brazil and Mexico. If you're going, get them tickets and get to it. In March 2022, Bruce told Consequence about his next solo album, "I've been working on it on and off since Tyranny of Souls, but between lockdowns and albums and Maiden tours and everything else, I'm looking for a clear space to actually nail and say, okay, this is what it's going to be." And get Bruce's longtime collaborator, Roy Z. Ramirez, to put some backing tracks down, and then we can do it. On the floor, in the control room, we'll just take our pants off and... No. So we're at the point now. Am I dirty? When you've got a dirty brain, you're always thinking like something about getting naked and laying in a bed and stuff. Is that normal? Am I normal? So we can do it all night till the feeling gets right and tight and right. So we're at a point now where we've already got, I don't know, anywhere between 50 and 70% of the material for the album. Depending on what we pick, because we can do that. We have so many tasty bits and portions that we can pick whatever we want to just flush all the rest away.
And I think we'd like to tweak it a little bit. And not nipples.
Back in December 2017, Dickinson said that his next solo LP would likely include a reworked version of If Eternity Should Fail, the opening track on the Iron Maiden's 2015 disc, The Book of Souls. Why would you do that? That already makes me go stinker doodles. I want to hear the Mandrake. I don't want to hear redos. Especially off of your last album, right? Have they put anything out since then? At the time, he said that he had about half of his seventh record already written and also confirmed. If Eternity Should Fail was originally penned as Dickinson's solo track. So he gave that to them. To Maiden, right? Is that what he's saying? Put it in the comments, tell me. He told Finland's Chaos TV that the original plan was for his next recordings to be a whole concept album about little elfling woodling elves in the Harry Potter series that you may have heard of, called the Mandrake, which was going to be called If Eternity Should Fail. And If Eternity Should Fail was the title track to my new solo album, he said. And a bit like Dickinson's 1989 solo song, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. There's a little laugh thing, quotations there. It got commandeered for Iron Maiden, so if I do another solo album, which I think I will, I might just stick to my original plan and have that as a title track. I mean, I'd write it. It was the first track that I wrote for it. So yeah, I'd probably still include that song. But it would be, the feel would be slightly different. Not very much though. Not too much, not too far. Like the Goldilocks zone. From the Maiden version. So there you have that, right? Another quick story. We're just going to pop in, pop out. Stryper here. They said they're going to go pop metal again. They said, hey guys, we've done the Yahweh, we've done all that heavy metal stuff. We want to go back a bit more into the pop metal realm for a few tunes. You know, don't hate us, don't be pissed off at us, but we're going to dabble with our pop metal again. So it says, Stryper plans to return to pop metal sound on a few songs. Next studio album. Stryper will enter the studio in early 2024 to begin recording the follow-up to the 2022 The Final Battle album. Earlier today, Stryper frontman Michael Sweetcheeks, who is responsible for almost all of the songwriting in the band, oh, he loves those checks. Old Robert Sweet's over there eating canned beans, and he's eating caviar. That's where it's at. It's all in the songwriting. That's why Lars Ulrich gets writing credits. He doesn't go, hey dude, here's but he gets producer credits because he does all the arranging. They all stand there with the juicy riffs and don't know how to put them, and he's good at kind of going, hey, let's do this and do a little bit of that and give a little bit of... Allegedly, I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. He says, I plan to start writing the next Stryper at Stryper album this week. Not even next month or next year. This week I'm starting. We want to branch out a bit and try some new things. And I also want to get back to some pop metal on a few tracks as well. Sweet continued, love can be so cold. The new album will be recorded in January, February, and then I will finish vocal solos and we will mix it when we return from the Holy Land tour in late February, March. What do you, the fans, want to hear on the next album? So he's laying that out as a question. What have you been missing and want to hear us do? I want to hear you do a little bit of rhythm in the house, rhythm in the house. If you can pull that off, I mean, I don't know if Michael Sweet's listening to this podcast. If you are, give me a little bit of rhythm in the heart. Or is it groove? Oh, it's groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. I would love to hear from everyone worldwide, not just United States, but worldwide. Take a moment. Just take a moment, think, and let me know your thoughts. A few months ago, Michael shot down speculation that The Final Battle marked the swan song for the veteran Christian hard rock band. Technically, it would be. If you put an album out called The Final Battle, what's the next album called? Just Kidding? The Final Battle 2? A lot of people assume that because, this is Michael Sweet talking here, a lot of people assume that because of the title of the album, that it's our last album, and that this is our last tour, Sweet told the Spokesman Review in May, but it's not our final anything, honey sister child. Don't fret. All your prayers did come true when you were praying that we didn't break up, because here we are. The Final Battle was released in October 2022 via Frontiers Music SRL, is about Armageddon. The movie? With Bruce Willis? That was a damn good movie. The material is about something much bigger than our band, Sweet explained. We don't plan to hang it up. When that time comes, we'll announce that it's our last tour, and when we announce that, it will be our final tour. We won't be like other bands who claim it's their last tour when it's not. All right, that's it. We're getting into your comments. We've got no more time to goof off, guys. We're getting right into your comments. Kevin Ortega, he's got a double banger here. Follow up, loved your Kiki D Elton John impression of Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And he's got the little laughing, crying little laughing emoticon. Had me rolling. Well, you know what, that compliments get you everywhere. Kevin Ortega on Boy George. Boy George fan of Napalm Death. Never would have guessed he was a fan of Napalm Death. Plus, what's he doing in Australia? I thought he was always in trouble with the law. Anyone could never have guessed he would have been a fan of that band. I never would have thunk. Kevin Ortega on KK Downing Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dude, you got to go and you have your own band. Get over it. Dude, you got to go and you have your own band. Get over it. Yes. Kevin Ortega on Flotsam and Jetsam. What the fuck? If I knew they were playing, touring, whatever the hell, I would have definitely gone to see them, and I live on the East Coast. Jesus Christ. Also, when The Storm came out in 1990, and that wasn't mentioned. Oh. All right. Kevin Ortega on Doro and Rob. They're doing the Total Eclipse of the Heart, which I'm sure will just be a masterpiece, like Motley Crue's Fight for Your Right to Party. Total Eclipse of the Heart recording. Not sure if I do want to hear this, to be honest. The original is always the best. I may humor myself a listen to it. It's like a train wreck. I have to. And then you're pleasantly surprised. Yes. Oh, Kevin Ortega on Jim Steinman here. Yes, Jim Steinman collaborated with the late Meatloaf on Bat Out of the Hell. LOL, yes, yes, yes. Ha ha ha, ja 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 ya 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 ya, in German. Baby, weekends are golden, but that ain't getting us nowhere. That is such a damn good record. If you haven't heard the Bat Out of Hell, go and listen to that record, man. Oh. And Kevin Ortega here. Thanks always, my brother, to you and all in here. All the fine, fine folks that participate. Have a great weekend. I added the little bit in there, but yes. Well done, good sir. Mike Buchanan coming in. My God, my God. Here we go. Went down the rabbit hole. I know you went down some kind of rabbit holes because you got this whole numbered system here. Here we go. Went down the rabbit hole with this week's movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. The horror edition. They Live. Fantastic. It's got a 15-minute fight scene. Come on. Anything with Rowdy Roddy Piper is going to be great, right? Hidden subliminal messages, hidden aliens, all uncovered by magical sunglasses. Now that's a bad script and movie plot. Also, Roddy's character is named Nada, but no one ever says his name once in the entire film. John Carpenter laid the golden egg with this film, that's for sure. Classic Nada quotes. Here's some Rowdy... what's the one about... Okay, I'm going to let you do it because you have to have it in here. Yes. I have come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum. That's a great line. You know who looked like your head fell in the cheese dip back in 1957? You know, you look like your head fell in the cheese dip back in 1957. Here's another one. Brother, life's a bitch, and she's back in heat. Yeah. Old school 80s one-liners, right? With wit like that, you know you're in for a great time. You see them on the streets, you watch them on TV, you might even vote for one this fall. You think they're people just like you? You're wrong. Dead wrong. Yeah, good stuff. That's on Tubi too, I think. I just saw that. They Live. That fight scene. That I can't remember that black actor, but he's great in everything that I see him in. But that fight scene between them, it's literally like 15 minutes long, I swear. Mike Buchanan, boy, oh boy, do we love some napalm death. Do you really want to hurt me? Question mark. Do you really want to make me cry? Question mark. Precious kisses. Words that burn me, lovers never ask you why. Wouldn't you love to hear a napalm death version of that song? Yes. Who knows? Maybe they'll do it now because he's like, all right. Bleeding Bloody Roy, Boy George came to our concert, so we're going to do it. They'd probably do a pretty ripping version of Karma Chameleon, too. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, here we go again. Drama, drama, drama. Mike Buchanan, read about the story of Flotsam and Jetsam. It's too bad they are fantastic live. I'm going to tell you a very quick story. Saw Flotsam and Jetsam live with some local bands. They had some kind of thing running where it was like the first 50 people that show up to this show gets a free Flotsam and Jetsam t-shirt. I was one of those first 50 people that was there. This was years and years and years ago. This was when they did that video on MTV where they says, well, you got to adjust your... Tell me if you remember this, but Flotsam and Jetsam did a video where they wanted you to adjust the tint on your TV, if I'm remembering correctly, so you could see something that was going to happen in the video. I don't know. Long story short, they were fantastic live, but the first time I watched that t-shirt, the whole logo went, and it was just white t-shirts, so it wasn't like high quality stuff, but first time I put it in the washing machine, the whole logo just... It's like one of those rock t-shirts you'd buy from, what do they call those, a swap meet or a Piccadilly? I don't know. Maybe that's what they call it in England, Those yard sales where like hundreds of people get together with all their stuff. Mike Buchanan on Doro. Doro, I believe every young metalhead back in the 80s had a huge crush on. The goddess of metal. Yeah. When I saw her in All We Are, I said, oh my God. While I've never seen Rob as a solo act, I have seen White Zombie 4 times in concert. I would have liked to have seen them. I've seen Rob Zombie, but I would have liked to have seen. Guess I should get around to seeing Rob solo in concert. And now he's got his Jive Talkin jokes of the week. Oh, this is a top 10 pirate pickup lines. Number 10. Avast me, proud beauty. Wanna know why me Roger is so jolly? Number 9. Have you ever met a man with a real yard arm? What's that? Number 8. Come on up and see me, urchins. That's pretty good. Number 7. Yes, that is a hornpipe in me pocket, and I'm happy to see ye. Number 6. I'd love to drop anchor in your lagoon. Shit. Number 5. Pardon me, but would you mind if I fired me cannon through your porthole? Number 4. How'd you like to scrape the barnacles off me rudder? Number 3. You know, darling, I'm 97% chum free. Number 2. Well, blow me down. And the number 1 pickup line for use of an international talk like a pirate day is, it's talk like a pirate day? The number 1 pickup line for use on International Talk Like a Pirate Day is, prepare to be boarded. You might have done it this time, you old son of a gun. You might have damn done it. A little kid with a speech impediment dressed up, we're still going with the jokes here. A little kid with a speech impediment dressed up as a pirate and goes trick-or-treating. The first house he goes to, he says, I'm a pirate. This is me Barrett. Can I have some bandy? The woman looks at him and says, my, aren't you cute? But where are your buccaneers? The kid gets really mad and says, on the sides of me bucking head. Well, he's just doing them bees. And finally, what's a horny pirate's worst nightmare? A sunken chest with no booty. Org! When you see this video on Saturday, my birthday will be the next day. Sing me happy birthday, please, and thank you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Michael Buchanan. There you go. You didn't want me to do the whole damn thing, did you? There you go. And you get the thumb for a happy birthday. There you go. Miss Althea coming in here. The dumbstruck fool says, Boy George. She's talking Boy George. I thought his real name was George O'Dowd, was common knowledge to all. I didn't know. I can't believe you have never heard that piece of information over the past 3.5 decades. No, never. I knew George, I knew Boy. I knew that wasn't his Christian name or whatever, but his true name or government name, I don't know what they call it. Must be a slow news day if someone was paid to write about him showing up at a Napalm Death concert. And I think Culture Club had a lot more than just 2 or 3 hits. Hit me with them. Okay, I'm already seeing one, and she's right. My personal faves are I'll Tumble For Ya, I Tumble For Ya, and Miss Me Blind. I don't think I've heard that one. Oh, and of course, I would be totally remiss if I did not mention that Hide was a fan of Napalm Death. Everyone has to be. In my world, everybody has to be. And that just goes to Hide's fantastic taste. Miss Althea, don't call him Kenneth on KK Downing. Don't call him Kenneth Downing. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing was months ago, and we're still on this, question mark? Flotsam and Jetsam, more like Flopsam. Oh, in this particular case. Oh, that hurts. It was there, I had to use it. Okay. I mean, she's good with the zingers. The 6K rating, the 6K rating. The 6K rating pertains to the fact that Kerrang! Magazine would review albums with K's instead of stars, and the highest possible being 6. Bare Naked Ladies did 1 week, and would it surprise you or Mike Buchanan if I said I hate that song? Okay, so, okay. That was 2 little bits there that I was talking about. So the K rating is Kerrang! Magazine did 6. And then she's got here Bare Naked Ladies, because someone said, it's been 1 week. Bare Naked Ladies did 1 week. And would it surprise you or Mike Buchanan if I said, I hate that song? Yeah. I mean, it's slightly irritating, right? I haven't heard it in years, but I know that it was huge on the radio for a long time. And so that was one you'd change the channel, find something else. Miss Althea on Doro and Rob. Speaking of songs I hate, no disrespect to either of them, but do we really need a reboot of Total Eclipse of the Heart? That's a good point. Yes, Jim Steinman penned the epic Bat Out of Hell album from Scott Ian's father-in-law, Meatloaf. Yes, indeed. Scott Ian has made love to a woman named Pearl, and Pearl is the daughter of Meatloaf. And he has also passed away, and Miss Althea wishes him, may he rest in peace. But Scott Ian is actually the son-in-law to Meatloaf. There's one thing that kind of, this is going to sound really weird to say, but when I found out that it wasn't all, that Meatloaf was just singing, it was kind of a bummer. I was kind of irritated for a long time that there was some guy named Jim Steinman that wrote the whole damn thing, and Meatloaf just sang it. Get in the comments and tell me if you're like, oh, you're wrong about that. He helped write it. I don't know. But Miss Althea on Rob Zombie. Wait for him to do a horror remake of Saturday Night Fever after seeing the groovy disco nu metal outfit and jamming moves and the jamming moves of his. I mean, he's got the moves. I think he could pull. He wears the pants already from Saturday Night Fever. The kind of bottomed out. What do they call them? Bottom bells? Bell bottoms. Miss Althea, I endorse Mike B's bad movie We Love Anyway sensational recommendation of killer clowns from outer space. I mean, come on. Anything with a clown, and especially anything with a clown with a K, is going to be bad. There you go, Miss Althea. I think we're going all thumbs this time. Jolly Jake Lavelle coming in. Shane, I love your KK impression because it was, I call, a traveling accent. Ooh. It starts out in Birmingham and ends up in Darwin by way of Johannesburg. I'm glad he put that there. See, that's his slang, Hilberg, but Johannesburg. Cheers. I love that. Isn't that fascinating? I mean, I'd love to know. I would be interested in learning how accents travel. All of a sudden, I'm like, how do, because we all have accent of some sort, wherever you're from Boston or you're from New York. There you go, buddy. Good job. Teddy coming in. Teddy's in love. Shane, I love your Oh, no. That's Jolly Jake. Sorry. Teddy. Dude, just letting you know, Theocracy. Uh-oh, Teddy. What have you done here? Just letting you know, Theocracy just put out another song and video called Mosaic. Have a great day. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to give you a thumb on this, but I can't confirm nor deny. Everywhere else plays for video reaction talk and asking for that, but here we keep it to a strict. But Teddy, let's see what we can do for you, okay? I mean, it's not, people know that I read this part for sure, so it's like, hey, let's put but they're never going to happen here. This is for you guys to talk to me. Sticky Doll coming in, and I was wondering, do you guys have a TikTok where you do lives or something like that? I know you do the Facebook thing, but I don't know. Sticky Doll's coming in. Well, we do love some zombies, White and Rob. but the clip you played sure sounded like Mr. Zombie has jumped on the lip sync train. He normally sounds horrendous vocally, but dances on his tip-tips around the stage in true spook metal form. Ha ha ha. Go, Rob, go. Say hi to Paul and Blackie. All right, there you go. And you get the thumb. Get the comments and tell me. I mean, I guess I could look Sticky Doll on TikTok and see, but I for what you guys do, I feel like doing lives would be great. Oscar, our friend Oscar here coming in. Final comment here regarding Judas Priest. It's common knowledge Kenneth counts the numbers of beers people drink. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit where he's over there. I saw Glenn drinking a bleeding bloody beer. Then he will start whining and bitching about it to anyone who will listen. Yeah, he goes around the room. Timpton had a problem with his altruistic actions and was subject to this bullying. I wouldn't want KK back in the band either. His motherly mannerism is not appropriate for a heavy metal band. Chill out and get over it, KK. So there you have that. Swing it out. I mean, you know what I'm thinking now? I mean, why wouldn't this keyboard have happy birthday on it? It's got every other stupid thing. Anyways, let's fire it up. Let's see. Come on, baby. Get a little Steely Dan. Tickle in the ivories, tickling them good. Tickle the ivories, a tickle, 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 tickle. Ticking that, ticking down, ticking down, ticking down, ticking them ivories. Jive talking with your friend Shane. That baby gonna go insane. Gonna get into you, main brain. Insane in the membrane, insane in the brain, insane in the membrane. Jive, motherfucker, jive, motherfucker, let's jive talking with your friend. I'm always messing that up. Jive talking with Shane D. Get your motherfucking heavy metal news for free. You can get it up front and turn around back. Gonna jam it in the hole, gonna jam it in the sack. Hey.